So every time we travel, it's a worry because it's always changing, right?
Yeah.
And you might show up and do everything they've asked. It sucks, but like what we do is we'll have either batteries waiting for us from FedEx, we'll like Lens Rentals batteries, they're great. Kind of having those backups, assuming that you never know what's happening in the airport. You might do everything as you're supposed to, and they still pull them. You have those backups in place, but yeah, it's frustrating. It's different based on the type of crew. The DP and director, of course, is super personal. I've had two really good DPs I've worked with. They've moved. One moved to Prague and one moved to Seattle. And it's still hard to build that relationship. So with the director and DP, that's very personal. That's like, can they think like you think without you telling them? For the rest of the crew, it's just, I guess, making yourself available. It's saying, hey, what do you need from me? Especially as a director or producer, if you're giving them time to ask them questions, as long as it's part of, fits in what you need to do, that really goes a long way. Like, oh, thanks, yeah, I had a question about this, and you kind of build that conversation, that trust. So really it all stems from making sure you schedule your days realistically. You're sometimes going to have to do crunch time, and I understand that, but hopefully your crunch day is not your first day you're meeting all these people for the first time. So it's kind of like, trusting each other in the light so you can know where they are in the darkness.
My film Thirsty Land, I had hired a cinematographer to go with me, and he was an amazing cinematographer. Just had an eye for visuals, and we were doing a lot of landscape stuff, and so he was just really good at that. But he came from the feature film world, not the documentary world. So I had to really communicate with him and keep that communication going as to how this works in the documentary world, because there's often run and gun stuff. He didn't have an hour to set up the shot. He had 2 minutes to set up the shot. So that communication was vital for me to be able to communicate my vision to him so he understands what I'm looking for in a particular shot. And we had some challenges. We had to work those out, and it just took time. After spending about 6 different 2-week trips together, we kind of learned how that communication works, and it was pretty amazing.
Actually, yeah, so when we do go to a client's site and I'm working with a DP for the first time, that's really tough, what I try and do then is have a conversation with them way before the shoot and then on the shoot, like, hey, this client, here's what they expect, natural lighting, very minimalist, like, cool, I got it. Because, sometimes they want to go above and beyond to make sure that they feel like they're giving you their money's worth and stuff like that. But I'll be like, hey, I'm laid back, just make it look, make them happy, make it comfortable, and kind of helping get them on the page in that way. So I don't break out all your lights, just keep it simple. So trying to get them up to speed with the client depending on what the client expects.